Hey, it's second episode of our brand new fourth season of Simply Felicity. Welcome back, Simply Felicity viewers. And I just have someone who has become really precious to me. I really value her insight, her outlook on life, and she's got an incredible story that I'm excited to bring to you today. So welcome, Beth Serafin.
Hey, it's so good to see you, Felicity. So good.
It is great to be here with you. And you're someone who I've been able to pray with now, recently with everything what's going on in the country. And I just wanted to start out because I haven't prayed with you in a little bit. Just wanted to know, like, what is the Lord sharing with you in this season? I've really been wanting to reach out and encourage people right now. And I was wondering if there was anything on your heart that you could start off just sharing with us about what you think God is sharing with you during this season.
There's been a lot of everything's going on, right? Every direction in every different way. And I was working on a project like, okay, God, are we going this way? And his word every time has been stay steadfast, stay in me,
Hmm.
show me to them, introduce me. So that has been my biggest thing. Biggest part right now is, introducing people to God and, um, asking the Lord, speak through me. Don't let them see me, let them see you. So that's been the big thing, where
Oh,
we've really been at. It's good stuff.
that is really good stuff because that carries you through elections and it carries you through 2020 and it carries you everywhere. But we are in a season of people being very sensitive and being open. And
Yeah.
so I really love that word from the Lord. And I just knew you had something that you could share with us right there. So you already know Beth's a minister.
Oh, that's
And
it.
God has definitely birthed ministry in her and a word on her heart. But I got to know Beth through a fundraising opportunity that she presents that is just so incredible and attached to a story that God like birthed in her with this incredible daughter that she got to raise. And why don't you tell us about how the H Life was born and about your story?
Oh, absolutely. So the H Life is a nonprofit for pediatric brain cancer research in the families that are going through. My daughter was diagnosed with DIPG, diffuse intrinsic pontine glioma, a very rare brain cancer that's in the pons of the brain. So this would be the pons, and your brain would be all around this, and then that's the part that's attached to your spinal cord and all of that. So when these kids are diagnosed, they are given 3 to 9 months to live, and there is a palliative radiation that's done. Sometimes it does things, sometimes it does not, and you're told to go home and make memories. My daughter was 15 years old. Heather was 15 years old when she was diagnosed. And that was completely out of the realm. Usually, the kids are much younger, 6 to 11 years old on average. We're seeing a lot of 4-year-olds, at this point, and we're seeing babies diagnosed at this time, but we also are seeing a lot of older kids. So things are, it's almost, since 1962, when Neil Armstrong's daughter was diagnosed. They also did the radiation back then. Treatment has not changed since. Um,
That's incredible.
isn't that amazing how that,
Yeah.
we can do all these incredible things, but yet this has confounded the wise.
Wow.
So we were going through all of the treatments and things like that, and we had found some things that were really helping, and but the thing that helped the most as we were going through was her faith. So we were consistently feeding into her faith and strengthening her faith, and allowing her to express her love for God. And she wanted to share that on wherever she went. So her dad, herself, and I were all on this this site for DIPG, and they were talking about hope, the hope that she had in Christ, the hope that she, had in the things that we were doing. We were on a clinical study at that time, but we were also doing things naturopathically that was giving her
Okay.
vitality, some vitality and strength. So she was told that giving any hope was false hope,
Mhm.
and that we weren't allowed to do that. So we were actually removed from the website. And so she and her brother were more than livid, because there's always hope. When you have Jesus Christ, there is hope for the day, for the hour, for every moment. And no matter what that moment is, because we don't know the day or hour, no matter who we are, there's still eternal hope. And then there's the hope of whatever you do, whatever you say, wherever you are, that hope will live on forever.
Mm.
So they decided
And
that
I know a lot of that strength. I feel like I see your daughter when you get tenacious like that. But
that is her. That
it,
that is, yeah.
and
That's
that
the name.
it's faith is born in darkness like that,
Yeah.
and if you learn how to properly face like that being at the edge of life, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? Like you really learn how to face anything and everything in life. That's why I tell people don't despise where we're at right now, even in society. This is where real faith is born that no one can ever take from you. No one can tell you, you know. So you're right. I
I
mean,
feel
it's
like we're
like, how
living the
could
biggest of
anyone say
adversity.
to, you know, how could anyone say to dim your hope or any hope is false hope? Like, you're like, okay, next. This is
Right.
not the right place for us to be.
And that really is, next. So they decided to form the H Life, because we're not allowed to talk about hope, so it's the H. And
Okay.
it was from the mind of a well, at that point she had already turned 17. 2 years she
Wow.
warring with this, and God had given her, she didn't have the vision that she had, but she was still dancing, she was still bringing people to Christ, she was still out there serving in the community and doing all the things that were all Heather, you know,
Wow.
bringing, being in leadership in her youth group and things like that, which is really a phenomenal feat considering what this disease does. So they decided to start the H Life, and her purpose was to help the babies. She wanted to help the babies, and then she wanted to spread good messages and encourage faith and hope.
Mm,
Yeah, it's really important, Mom, the research is, but if people have been raising money since you were born, and
mm,
they've been fighting these things since you were born, then how much longer is it going to take to find this part of the brain? So the most important thing in this is to facilitate everybody for other people's needs, and to be able to to share that positive, good, faithful message that in this time, in our political season, in our communities, our churches being closed or shrunk, and we're not allowed to worship, you have to wear a mask, and you're only allowed to sing so many songs, and nobody's allowed to touch, and all of those things. Where does that come? What is really going to strengthen us through, other than a deep relationship with God
yeah.
and hope?
Yeah. Absolutely. That's so exciting. And so, um, you were just telling me how the H Life is actually moving, has a new home, just this weekend, right? Is it just
Yes, this
happening
weekend,
now?
right now. So, in between, you're my timeout, which was so desperately needed in the middle of
Oh,
all that.
good.
I was like, yes, I
A
need
little break.
just a little break. So all of our coffee, our tea, our tumblers, our hoodies, sweatshirt, everything that is the material purposes of H Life is in our new building. And now we're going to move all the furniture and, all the things that make us function.
So I
Uh,
wanted to, yeah, just point out that those are sort of the way that the nonprofit functions is through, you have teas and special teas and coffees for sale, not just
yeah.
any, right? So tell me what makes them special beverages.
So our coffee company, that has a really neat story. My friend Amy, who is on our board, who had met a man who had a fundraising program, and she said, "You've got to get your artwork in there," because at that point we had the t-shirts and sweatshirts of the things that Heather had chosen. And because her brother's a graphic, it was at that he's a photographer and graphic artist, did
Okay.
product work and all of that, packaging and all of that. So that's what we had. And Amy had talked to him. So I'm having this conversation with him, and it was going to cost so much. I was going to have $5,000 of stock at least, and
Mm,
we just didn't have it. You know, there was just no way. We were starting out. Number one, I wanted to keep everything, no debt. No,
right, right.
I can't see that God would be pleased with me putting his ministry in debt. So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, no, I can't do that. And he says, why don't you give me 3 days? I'm gonna pray about something. I have an idea. So 3 days later, we meet again and sit down, and we have like nothing. We're centrally located 7 miles from anything. Whole lot of fields and things like that. And there's this one place that everybody meets, and it's Sweet Lou's. So we go over there, and I own a coffee company, and I would really like you to make, I would really like to make your organization a line of coffee. And I was like, wow, well, that's cool. If I don't have money for that, how am I going to do that? He says, no, listen, I've been thinking about this. You're not fighting for your daughter anymore. She's gone. You're fighting for all of ours. And what would it be of me if I didn't take what I have and make it available to you? He says, I'm going to make this so you can't say no to me. He said, I will upfront you everything, and then you pay me as you sell it, not before. I don't want to dime before you sell your product. He says, I believe in what you're doing, and I believe in the power of God, and I believe in hope. So here we are having this conversation. We've actually known each other for 3 days. We're praying, all of that.
My
And
gosh.
yeah, it was a God thing, because I was like, I don't know, because I don't need. And I said, okay, so let me wrap my head around this. I feel like this is an answer to prayer, because after we had done this festival, 3-day festival, I'm in the garage and I'm toting these huge totes of sweatshirts and all of that. And I'm like, God, it's fine now. But when I get into my 70s, how am I going to be lifting all of this stuff? How am I going to do it?
Right.
I need a consumable. So what does he present me with? The perfect opportunity, a consumable, coffee. We are,
Just
as
miracle
Americans,
after miracle, by the way, since like
yeah.
your new location is a miracle too,
Oh,
right? That was like
absolutely.
basically given to you. But I do want to circle back. So these aren't these coffees like they're made of some sort of special things? Are they organic or
Yeah.
what is
Well,
it?
so our coffees are fair trade. They are not all organically certified, because that costs a fortune to do. But our partner actually goes to the country, knows the people, the farmers
Oh, how
that
cool.
really cool. He says, when somebody's pulling up in with a bull and wagons, and they have handpicked those beans themselves, that they don't have the money to be able to do that. And he says, that's where I want to put the money. So the taste of the coffee is completely different,
Hmm.
because it's pure, it's good, it's not the bottom of the barrel. You're not going to the market and picking up, what the least cost is, because you're trying to make sure that these people also have a livable wage while you're doing that. You want to bless them as much as they're blessing you with this incredible 100-year farm, that they have. So we
And
have.
what country when you said he goes there?
Well, he goes
Or is
to.
it local?
No, he goes to Colombia, and
Oh,
then
okay. Okay.
we have Tanzanian, Peruvian, um, Costa Rican, Puerto Rican, just
Whew.
coffees from many different countries. But all of our flavored coffees are in our Colombian beans, dark roast, light roast, and then we do flavored coffees that are decaf, half calf, all of those different things, because the people who can't have caffeine normally don't get anything yummy. So we do that. And then all of our teas are all organically certified through the lady who makes them in New York.
Okay.
So
You said in New York?
in New York, yep. So we actually ship them from New York to us, and we package them and everything. But everything that she does for us is organically certified. It's the very same situation. She is a cancer survivor, so she's helping me help the babies.
Wow.
So,
Oh, wow.
just
Another miracle tie right there.
every Felicity, I don't go out looking for it. I don't want to go out and get something that God doesn't want.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
put in our lap. We were he's like, okay, do this. It's a lot of work. I got to follow through. I got to have faith to believe, and I have to educate myself in all things. But even like the person that we have right now doing all of our t-shirts and all of our garments and things like that, we were having to buy beforehand. We were having to buy large quantities, and storage for that is very difficult and all of those things. And this lady said, no, I believe in what you're doing. She's local. I can call her and say, hey, this kiddo has DIPG. They wear size 2T. I need something that's super soft. Get me some rabbit, whatever. That's a brand. And
Okay.
she'll make that on that, and I can just do one-offs with her.
Wow. Wow.
That is another God thing, because you she has custody of two terminal grandchildren. Both of her grandchildren are terminal. Both of them have,
Wow.
nurses around the clock, all of that. She lost her job because she was in the ICU with her kids. She's been a graphic artist and done print work for 25 years. So she had to make a business at home. So she, okay, so a lot of us have basements out here. So that's what she's done.
Gotcha.
So while she's supporting us, we're supporting something pretty amazing over there. So it's God. He's really.
It sounds like I remember somebody talking about the difference between sort of asking God to bless what you're doing and then doing what God is blessing,
Yeah.
where you just are, and it just sounds like you're in the flow, right? Of so much coming toward you for this higher cause. So I know any of my coffee drinkers watching right now are kind of mouth salivating. Where can they go if they want to try out some coffee or teas? We'll talk about, there's actually two ways you could sort of try it out, but if you just want to place an order and get yourself some and try it out that way, the website is it the H.life?
H.life.
I remembered the H.life. Okay. So you can go to the H.life and the proceeds will be going. And what are you using now the proceeds for? Are you still helping really the kids and the families?
We do both, because we saw so many foundations where it was kind of sketchy where the money was going. We have separate accounts. We have one
Okay.
that's the H.life itself, where we have to pay all of the insurance and all of those things out of, and then we have an account for research, and we have an account for families.
Okay.
So like if you're
Nice.
at an event or something like that, we instead of buying the cup of coffee, you put your donation, either research or families, and that's where it goes. As far
Oh,
as
very
the
cool.
coffee goes, my accountant, um, we have an accountant that goes through everything and says, okay, so we have a percentage that we donate. We try to keep it as close to 27% as we possibly can.
Okay.
If I'm doing it, then I end up giving because there's the baby.
Was it like 80%?
And then I'm in trouble. So that's why we have an accountant, and she tells me you have this. So all of that's taken care of for us. Like I said, we had a research fund, even though that we're only 2 years old. And
Amazing.
COVID and everything else like this, we'll be 3 years old in May officially as a nonprofit. Heather actually started it as a creative brand in 2015 with her brother.
Okay.
but it took me 18 months to be able to read a document or function after she passed. So
Sure.
we're going to be 3 years old. So even though that we're so young, we were still able to give to research this year with COVID shutting down every event, every market,
Wow.
God really proved himself, and we're still able to give, not what we'd like to, not what we're dreaming of, but God is still allowing us to
The fact that you
spend
were able to give anything, come on, that's like absolutely
anything. Yeah.
incredible. So we know that things are going to be starting back up here sometime soon. So talk to me about the events. What kind of events do you have? I believe that's another way that people can try out the brands.
Well, we in all year round, whenever there's a market available, we've been doing local markets, and this year we've decided that this up and coming year we've decided that Hobart, Indiana, is going to be where we do their market every Thursday.
Mm.
We also do the different festivals and things like that. Coffee flights and teas. December 22nd, we're going to have one at Fields of New Durham. It's an apartment complex, but they've got this amazing meadow room. The company who owns the property are supporting us, and they allow us to come in to do coffee tastings and stuff. So December 22nd is really close to Christmas. People can do their Christmas shopping, but you get to taste the coffee. I'll also have the coffees that we're bringing in next year there.
Okay, tell me about
So
that. You
yeah,
got some new flavors?
Mm, we we're going to have different flavors, and they're going to be kind of, what we do is we give people forms, and they tell us what they think about it. What do they taste when they are tasting the coffee? How would they rate it? Is this something that they would be interested in?
Mm.
And we get their feedback. It's a way of doing a marketing analysis without costing us anything but coffee. um,
Nice,
Trying to
nice.
do all those things. So you it's over on River Road in Westville, Indiana,
Okay.
and we'll be there from 2 to 8:30 p.m. So it's an open house, um, so that there's going to be a good solid flow. That we'll have still good distancing and things like that at the event. But you'll be able to taste it there. You'll also be able to taste some of the organic teas, and then you'll be able to choose what you want. We're also looking, in that situation, we're also looking for the feedback. What is it that you've been dreaming of that you can't get anywhere else?
Mm. Mm.
We've also noticed that when we
I
do
think people do have coffee dreams, actually. I don't
things,
know. Maybe some of the viewers can
you're like,
co-sign. If you've got any coffee dreams, make sure you're sharing them here in the
right?
comments here, since she has someone that actually is still designing coffees for her and for
It's
her market.
it's really cool to be able to see, because we do the cold brew too, and now we're able to teach people how to make cold brew at home.
Wow.
So here's how you make a gallon of cold brew, and hey, I just saved you $50.
There you
It saved
go.
you a lot of money and a lot of gas, and you didn't have to go anywhere to do it. We also do something called, we have a Once Upon a Time series, and we have a bike ride. Of course, this year our bike ride was canceled. But we're going to try and do it in July of next year. We don't
Oh,
have a date
nice.
solidified yet. And our Once Upon a Time series, we have high school and college students that donate their time. And we do cupcakes and fairy tales the third Saturday every September. And these kids put on an incredible show. They walk into this at Hawthorne Park. They go up the stairs, and they're greeted by bubbles and balloons. They walk
Wow.
in, they're signing in, the big doors open up. Everything from Beauty and the Beast in the very beginning. So they get, be your guest, get gourmet cupcakes, photos, and dancing. We have a live DJ for, basically 2 to 11 year olds, pretty much.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh.
that's a lot of fun.
What a
And
fun
then,
day.
oh my gosh, when the clock strikes 12, Cinderella leaves. Prince Charming gathers all the children, and they run after
Oh, fun.
they go over to the gazebo, and a horse and buggy is waiting for them, so they have pony rides.
Oh,
It is
wow.
cool. So
Okay,
it's
that's
all of my
cool.
childhood fantasies, all,
Right?
all the things I wanted to
Exactly.
do as a little kid. There it is.
Oh my gosh,
So
that's
much fun.
fantastic. Awesome. So, yeah, so you are like local in Indiana, or it's kind of southern India.
Northern
North.
Indiana.
Oh, it is northern India. I know
Yeah.
Hobart is, so I should have
Yeah.
remembered. Okay.
Valparaiso, Indiana.
Okay. So northern Indiana, but I know I've got viewers watching from around the country. So the H dot life is where you want to go to be able to pick up your coffee and teas until I guess you just expand in volunteers and become worldwide. Do you have visions for that? What is your dream for the H life?
I would really like to. We do fundraiser forms, kind of like the Girl Scouts, but it's coffee and tea.
Okay.
And that's one of the ways that we put the message out there. But I would really like to be able to have crews and things like that all over the United States, where they're people who are passionate about overcoming. For the, just basically overcoming the impossible with faith and hope and love. I'd really like to see that everywhere.
Uh,
So right now we're working on expanding, doing events in different, different towns and things like that. We have a brand new partner in Florida. Um,
really?
yeah, I'm really excited about that. We want to partner with some different universities, but nothing is solidified. Want tos, and we have that possibility. And then we're working on a project with another DIPG family in Kansas. The young man who was diagnosed is older, like Heather was, but he's actually in his 20s and trying to graduate college.
Mm,
And
mm.
you know,
Wow.
yeah,
How
he's
long has he had it?
18 months.
Wow.
18 months, about 18 months. And then he was actually diagnosed on DIPG Day, May 17th.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, Mom, he was telling his mom, Lisa, this must be, something that God really wants me to do. So I want to forge ahead and be the first for the trials, be the first one to go out there to make sure that they're safe for the kids. Really, he's been doing a lot of public speaking and things like that, getting out
Wow.
there. So we're partnering, we're working on some things with them. Nothing's, those dreams and goals. And that was the first one that, these are the first people that I ever, that we've moved forward in this direction. So we want to do that with as many families as we possibly can. With this family, they're like, they're like-minded, so they want to not only raise the hope bar, but they also want to raise funds for the research. So everything that they're doing is going through two specific research trials that have shown some significant help, because like this one, for the majority of the children, it's all called UNC201, by the way, the drug that they're getting. And they take one day a week, they take 5 pills, and they don't lose their hair. They don't, they're not sick, they get tired.
Okay.
And it's been a placeholder for many kids. He was over a year before he saw any signs of any movement being on that drug.
Wow.
And
Wow.
so getting that out of, being able to have that just available.
Mhm.
Our president has done some wonderful things to make drugs available that have, for our kids that never have been before. It's been pretty awesome to see.
That is great news. And I'm not surprised that you already have some possibilities of being nationwide because, man, you set those goals and they're just kind of, I think God is just putting them on your heart to let you know, I've got some things already working. And then it's like, bam,
Bam,
right?
there it is. Because it wasn't a thought about, I thought, geez, Lord, could we just, how do I tell other people's story? Because Heather was never a person that everything was about her.
Mm.
She never wanted it to be that way. She didn't want her picture on things, all of that. The story is incredibly important to tell, but she's, I want to make sure we're telling everybody's story. So I had just been talking to the Lord a few days before, like, what if we put different kids' stories on the back of these bags, let them pick a flavor or something like that, something that they really liked, especially the older kids that are active, and put that story on there.
Wow,
So
I love that because that really ties those two things together,
yeah,
and helps because, like I said, a lot of people have a lot of love for coffee and for, for the tea, but you always want to tie it into, right, the purpose of what you all are doing, and that sounds like an amazing way, you know.
most of the people say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but most of the people say we had never heard of DIPG, could never have imagined
Right,
that there was anything like this. And
right.
the idea that, since 1962, there's been nothing found, over 250 clinical studies done, and nothing works. Just the idea of that. So knowledge, and also, as far as investment goes, the children for there's research dollars that the government gives for different cancers and things like that. The kids only get 4% of that.
Wow.
4%. The same amount of money that Starbucks makes in 3 days is the same amount of money that the kids get for all the research dollars for pediatric cancer. And now that's just all the pediatric cancers. That's including leukemia. That's, any type of pediatric cancer, not just brain cancer.
So DIPG would be like
Yeah,
be a
like the 1% of
fraction.
the 1% of the 1%. Yeah. So families like ours are what's funding anything that's done.
Hmm. Beth, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for laying your life down, and that this is what you're doing. Again, I don't think you're just asking God to bless what you're doing. I think you are a part of what God is blessing, and it's really exciting and encouraging to see. And I just pray that you're shedding a light, even with the people watching right now. You see how someone can go from, losing such a close loved one and making sure that their legacy is living on. We're all called to do different things, right?
Right.
I mean, it's just a miracle that the way that you minister and the way that you do what you do before people. But this is just an extra blessing that God has given you to bless others. And I appreciate you being a part of my life. I'm thankful that we met, and you're such a go-getter with the fundraiser, and I was looking for that at the time. But I have to just even point out, like, us working together was like a part of why the production company I was with let me go.
Really?
And
I didn't know that. Oh my gosh.
yeah, 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 yeah. And now that I'm back on Roku, and that God has worked this all out in such a beautiful way. Like, I can tell you that and say, like, thank you. It's
Oh my
like
goodness.
we
Okay.
say thank you sometimes for the weirdest things, but once God shows you, once he kind of brings it all to pass, you're like, ah, okay, I see why it went that way.
Wow.
And I really appreciate having you in my life these past few years, and it's been great to reconnect and introduce you to everyone.
Thank you. You know those divine appointments.
That's absolutely what it
Divine appointments, and our appointment was truly God ordained.
And even when you called me a month or two back and God said, "Call my joy," I was like,
Oh my gosh.
I
I
needed that day. So it's just been really cool connections. And so I want to encourage everyone to get involved. I want you to encourage you to go to the H.Life if you're not in Indiana and can't go to one of the events that she mentioned. Are your events on the website too? Do
no,
they tend to be on there? Okay.
like our coffee and canvas where you have to buy a ticket, definitely. We are working on expanding so that expanding the page so that
So
we
they would
can
have to just like maybe go to contact us if they wanted to find out what's going on, or how could they find out?
on our Facebook page.
Oh, okay. There you go. Thank you. What is that? The H Life?
DH Life. Yep. If you go to our Facebook page, I am consistently posting things about what's going on with DH Life. And I did find that in linking that there was, you're making reservations, that was easier for people because they could print
Right.
out the directions, everything like that. So we'll be doing that more often and attaching that to the website. But please get on there, be a part, share the thing, share the stories. We post the children all the time.
Mm,
Please pray for our kids.
that's awesome. Please pray for the kids. Thank you, Beth, for being here.
You're
Pray
welcome.
the rest of the move is successful. And we're just so excited about this next chapter for the H Life. I look
Yes.
forward to connecting again.
Well, I'll see you soon.
All right. All right. Thank you guys for joining us. And thanks again, Beth.
You're welcome.